Welcome to the Autism Advocate Podcast. I'm your host, Laura Hales. If you're looking for tips on how to advocate for and understand your autistic child in a more meaningful way, you've come to the right place, and we're so happy to have you join us. Hi, welcome. It's Monday. We are here with your question of the day. And again, everything that's identifying is being left out for their personal privacy. Hi there. I've really been enjoying your videos. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for making such great and useful content. My name is blah 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 blah. It's not their name. That's my made up name. I'm parent to an awesome 9-year-old autistic child. They are very animated and fun and loves train, specifically Thomas. Y'all, we all go through a Thomas phase. We just started X grade here in this area, and already the school, who I have some confidence in, is giving me feedback that they are avoiding work with their teachers by saying, "I don't care," or "boring," over and over. I hear that, I get it. It's a new tactic for them to avoid mildly and highly unpreferred tasks. Love the verbiage. It sounds like you know what you're talking about, friend. We are just doing speech now for therapy outside of school, and they have kind of graduated from ABA for now. It seems like they're trying very hard to not participate, but still engaging, which makes me think there might be something lurking there despite the words they're choosing. Any ideas? Thanks for your time. Love, blah, 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 blah. First of all, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like you have thought this through really well. And what I love is it sounds like you are looking at your child's behavior and saying, what does this mean? And once you figure out what the behavior is communicating, the need it's communicating, then you can actually think about meeting that need and changing that to be something appropriate and productive, and while still meeting their need, which is yay, you get it, you get the process, and you're just looking for ideas within that process. But friend, you get the process, and that is such a hard thing to get parents to transition into, instead of my kid is being defiant and they're trying to be defiant. I mean, what can we do with that? Because then it's a matter of wills. But when you look at the need, what need is your child communicating? You are already doing so many fantastic things. So my response was, it sounds like this child has some really great skills, but sounds like they're maybe adverse to failure, right? And who isn't, honestly? So while that doesn't, sorry, I heard a honk outside. Made me wonder who it was. While we all struggle with failure and we all often steer away from failure, we also have learned that that is what gets in the way of our growth, right? But that means that we can all relate to this struggle. Nobody likes to do things that they're terrible at and to fail over and over again. It doesn't feel good for our self-esteem. It's really tricky to teach a mindset like a growth mindset. So what I suggested was, first, break activities that are the unpreferred ones into smaller chunks that involve this child's preferred communication skills. So, for example, if it's like a whole math assignment, rather than the whole math assignment being what is expected to be done, the first task is, okay, you've got problem number 1, and maybe even just the entire page is what's overwhelming. Maybe you literally give them one picture of the first equation, and that's the only thing that's on the page. Visually, it's so much more concentrated, so much more less overwhelming, and the child can say, now maybe you need to break it into even smaller chunks than that. It's what the child needs, okay? So maybe it's the first part of the problem. Maybe you can break down each problem into its 6 steps or something like that. And then you are saying, okay, your first task is to do these first 2 steps. And then I'm going to come back and check on you. And then I'm going to help you with step number 3. And then you're going to try independently step number 4. You know what I mean? But smaller chunks. I hate saying that word chunks. I don't know about you. So sorry I said that so many times. I also referenced having preferred communication methods. So for some children, and this is for all kids, whether they are autistic or neurodivergent or not, We all have preferred methods of communication. So if someone is really struggling to be talked at, or it's really sensory-wise overwhelming to them, it makes them, feel anxious and controlled, then perhaps it's pictures, images, perhaps it's something that's written down if they are able to read directions and instructions. And then rather than having to say over and over again this kind of nagging sound, the written directions can just be above, and you can explain however you'd like. We're already running out of time. The other thing I'd say is I'd also try making failure a goal. I know. Now, I would suggest that this is a secret goal, that the child does not realize that's what we're doing, but make it a very lighthearted way that includes the struggle. So, for example, you find 2 wrong answers and 1 right answer for this problem. I want you to find the wrong answer. And I mean like create and pretend to solve the wrong way. I want you to do that. That's part of what you are doing. Or I want you to copy this pattern 2 times the wrong way, and then 1 time the right way, and then show me why. What's the difference? Show me all 3. So make it, again, lighthearted and fun. And it's also reinforcing the idea that it's okay to fail. And also finding opportunities to reinforce the idea that it's okay to find an activity boring. That's okay. It's also okay to find an activity boring and still do it. A lot of times it depends on the cognitive ability of your child or your student, but if a child can understand that so much of life is doing boring things that we do not want to do, and you are in the process of practicing that tolerance and increasing that tolerance, then that's great. And maybe you need to start with that student with 1 minute, 2 minutes, and actually on a timer. We are doing this child's unpreferred, boring task for 60 seconds. That is where they are currently at, tolerance-wise. Once you've collected data that, hey, they have met that for 3 days in a row without much resistance or complaint, let's try 90 seconds. I bet you can do this. I know you can. Do you see what I'm saying? And increasing that tolerance, just like you would graduate from learning to identify letters in the alphabet to sounds in the alphabet. Whatever the child is struggling with, there's a category for learning and thinking about that specific process. So why don't we do that with other skills? Why only academic skills? Why not building a tolerance to things? You absolutely can. There's so much more I want to say. Maybe I'll make this a 2-parter, okay? I will make this a 2-parter. I will see you with the second answer on Wednesday. Love ya. I'm rooting for ya.
Want to submit a question? Email us at theautismadvocatepodcast@gmail.com. Follow our social media outlets and check out our shop featuring my Autism Acceptance, Children's Illustrated books, and other fun autism acceptance items. Don't forget, I'm rooting for you, and we'll see you next time.